So today we're going to go over how to do the perfect cartwheel. Now, to do the perfect cartwheel, there's 3 sections that have a few points each that you want to remember. The first section is the lunge, the second section is the handstand, and the third section is the finish. So taking these one at a time. So the first section of your cartwheel is your lunge. Now in the lunge, you want to remember 3 things. First is the toes. Both toes want to be facing the same direction. They want to both be facing forward, of course, the direction you're going to do your cartwheel. Second is separation. From the front to back foot, okay, you want it to be comfortable. You don't want it to be too close. You don't want it to be too far. You want it to be comfortable to you. And then between your feet, you want them about shoulder width apart, because if they aren't shoulder width apart, you aren't going to have very good balance. So that's the first section of your cartwheel, your lunge. Now, one more thing in the lunge is your weight distribution. You want to have the majority of the weight on the front foot. Often when people go into the cartwheels, they'll lift their front foot off the ground and shift that weight onto the back foot. But this is incorrect. You want to keep all that weight on the front foot and simply kick the back foot straight up into the air. Now, of course, the next section is the handstand section. 2 very important things for the handstand. 1 is your hand placement and 2 is your shoulder alignment. Now, your hand placement, you want to act like there's a line going from your front foot and you want to reach down that line and you want to place both of your thumbs facing each other on that line. Secondly, your shoulder alignment. Your shoulders want to be aligned with the ears, of course, to get a good handstand. Now, if you don't have a strong handstand, you want to make sure you practice that. But if you got a good, strong handstand, what you want to do is work on cartwheel to handstand, working on this hand placement and shoulder alignment. And finally, to finish off your cartwheel is your finish. First of all, your hips. Your hips want to turn and face the same direction that you began your cartwheel. Because if your hips are off, your cartwheel is going to be off. Your hips want to face the same direction you began, and your toes want to face the same direction you began. Your lunge is going to be opposite of what you started with. So your foot that was in the back when you started, when you kick over, it comes down first and ends up in the front when you finish. You want to make sure you go down 1 foot at a time, facing your hips the right direction, both toes facing where you came, stand up, arms on the ears, and then you've perfected your cartwheel.